All right, guys. So here's a session we did on crossing and distribution. And so you can see just kind of activation one here. Just want to get their feet going. So maybe you can do this exercise with two servers. So that way each keeper is getting the same rep. So this was just my creative way of solving, maybe the issue of only having three players available here. And so you can see one's getting the handling there while the other one is kind of getting the hip activation with the ball striking. And really what you want to emphasize here, again, just seeing the ball into the gloves. You want to be able to pick up the pace with the volleys. You want to be able to make sure they're striking the ball in the middle third, so that way it's hitting the desired target. You want to focus on the plant foot. Now we kind of go phase two of this exercise. You're talking about getting them hitting the ground, okay? And so now you kind of see that one side is going into the collapse dive there, while the other side is going stationary ball. And so, yeah, the one that's collapsed dive, you want to make sure they have control over their body, that they're not hitting the ground too hard, that their pinning technique is correct. Okay, we're kind of going to go into the next phase of the distribution piece. So still working on the agility with the footwork and the continued activation, as well as them being able to solve pressure. And so you want to talk about reps like these, where there's clearly a bad touch, but you make amends for it. That's match realistic. That's the game. You got to be able to solve problems. Okay, so really this is, you can see the grid size here. It's pretty tight, but it's a great exercise for them being able to face pressure, for them to be able to see the kind of attack angle that the presser has, and then them to be able to bypass pressure with that first touch and distance themselves from the defender. So again, you still want to talk about like the surface of the foot they're using, them striking the middle third, them keeping it on the surface, the weight of the pass, just the fine details there. Okay, really, I like this exercise because it's a great tempo exercise. You got a lot of way to touch. You got a lot of showing different angles. You're continuing to work on activation. You're working on transition because obviously whenever they're stopping the shot, they're out of possession. And then they quickly go to being in possession with the little combo that we do there. So this conversation we just had right there, it has to do with the surface that she wants me to have her use. This distance you could go laces, but if I'm asking them to do kind of first touch into the mini goal, then you're probably going to be more accurate with kind of the instep there. So it kind of depends on that last pass. If that layoff is good, then they can go one instep. If it's, a little bit heavier weighted, maybe they're going two, maybe they're going laces, so that way it gets to that target a little bit faster. You always want to make sure whatever, if it's cones, if it's these kind of like blocks that I'm using here, make sure they're getting used to showing angles wide. So that way it gives them margin for error when they actually do get into goal. Okay, now this is kind of activating their muscles for jumping. Okay, and so Mac does a great job here in terms of she doesn't turn her back to the field of play. So after she plays into the mini goal, there's a little bit of a recovery movement to get negative of the football dummy. Okay, you want to make sure that they're doing some type of drop step, getting back to their goal line quickly before they get set for that high ball coming in. Okay, it's hard to see on the footage here, but there is a little cone there on the goal line. And a lot of goalkeeping is just short, sharp, concise footwork. And so really you're emphasizing that by them kind of doing that little bit of footwork around the cone to start this exercise. Talk about the timing with this, okay? So the timing that they're going up for the jump, making sure the proper knee is coming up so that way they square themselves to the ball. And just reading service. If it's a shallow toss, maybe they might have to speed up their run. If it's a little bit more height, maybe they see a little bit more patience. Maybe they make their movement a little bit later. Okay, we're going to the big goal here. So this just kind of ties it all into places. We were working on a little bit of angles earlier. We were working on a little bit about handling. So that ties that in with the first two finishes there. And then the ball comes out wide to me off screen here. So again, just trying to bring it all together. Okay, she makes a great decision, obviously based on the pace of the cross to stay. right? So now it's all about, can I get set for this shot? Can I give myself enough reaction time by staying connected to my goal line to make that save? So you can be creative with these patterns. Really, I just did this because that's what we see in games. We see, a 9 receiving it, turning on their first touch and trying to get that shot off as quickly as possible. Then maybe it's a quick little combo, a little up back through for a long distance shot there. You want to talk about starting positions. So I'm serving these righty off screen here. So that's in swingers. Okay. So just a little bit of a crossing distribution, high ball stuff that we did about 2 weeks ago. Thanks for watching, guys.